All right, Miss Bremer, Miss Jeff Code, and ladies and gentlemen at the jail, I'm Wade Mercer. I'm the county judge in Jackson County. We just got a call. I just got a call from the Calhoun County jail that they're having some technical issues. So Miss Bremer and I said Miss Jeff Code, Miss Simpson and Miss Bremer will connect to Calhoun County. May have to do theirs by phone after we get through with the other counties. Let me see what county has the fewest cases. I don't think there are any interpreter needs. Just like Holmes County has the fewest cases. Mr. or Madam Jailer, can you hear me in Holmes County?
Yes, sir.
Great. And have you had a chance to play the first appearance video?
Yes, sir.
Great. Ladies and gentlemen, there in Holmes County, I've already introduced myself. I want to make sure that all of the counties can hear the two attorneys involved. So I'm going to ask that they introduce themselves, starting with the state.
Kara Bremer on behalf of the state.
Elizabeth Simpson with the Public Defender's Office.
Thank you both. And Madam Jailer, can you hear and see both of us in Holmes County? All three of us?
Yes, we can.
Great. First case is Brian Monahan. Mr. Monahan, the jailer is going to show you where to stand so that I can see and hear you. All right, Mr. Monahan, you're accused of violating the terms of your probation. It looks like a Holmes County violation of county probation that has no bond on it for the time being. Mr. Monahan, what that means is you're going to be held until you can see Judge Taylor. That will likely be the first of the week, but you've got no bond at least until then. You may have no bond after then, but for right now, you've got no bond. Mr. Monahan, do you have any questions?
My uncle had talked to Taylor last night and they had set up a bond, and I talked to him last night about it.
Okay. Madam Jailer, have you heard anything about a bond in this case?
No, sir. But I explained to him that he may have to wait and see Judge Taylor Monday.
Yeah, let me double check, Mr. Monahan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the warrant has no bond. Now, wow, this is a 2015 case. 2015 warrant.
Yeah, sir.
So it's an old case. So that very well may change when you see Judge Taylor, but right now, it's his case. He can do what he wishes to do, but right now there's no bond. Okay, sir?
Okay.
Have a good day, sir. We have Ronald Thompson. Mr. Thompson, good morning. Mr. Thompson, you've been accused of one count of driving while license suspended or revoked. They've got it charged as a second offense, and that may or may not wind up being a felony. I don't know yet. False information, law enforcement officer, and violation of probation out of Walton County. Mr. Thompson, there is probable cause for the charges. I'm going to set you a bond in the cases you're entitled to a bond in, but listen carefully. Your bond's $5,000 in the driving offense and the false information, but you have no bond in a possible violation of probation. I'm going to ask the jail to get you back in front of whoever the first appearance judge is Monday. Different counties handle this a little differently. Some counties will give them a week, give Walton County a week. Some counties will give Walton County 10 days. I've seen some counties do 14 days. So you need to see the local judge, and he can tell you how long they're going to give Walton County to seek a warrant. But at least for a temporary basis, you've got no bond because it appears you're on probation out of Walton County for felony driving while license suspended, it appears. Mr. Thompson, do you have any questions?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Thompson, wish you the best, sir. We have Lois Merkel next. Ms. Merkel, good morning, ma'am. Ms. Merkel, you're charged with one count of second-degree murder. Ms. Bremer, is it safe to assume, since it's a weekend, that you don't know if the state's going to be filing a motion for pretrial detention or not?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Ms. Merkel, Ms. Simpson, anything I need to be aware of on behalf of Ms. Merkel?
I don't have any information this morning, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Merkel, because you got arrested and you're being first appeared on a weekend, ma'am, we have very limited information other than the complaint and the warrant. There's a no bond. It's actually, you may be entitled to a bond on this case, but the state has the right to file a motion for pretrial detention. I do not know if they will do that or not. They have 5 days to do that. What I'm going to do, ma'am, actually, the hearing has to take place within 5 days if they do it. Ms. Merkel, I'm going to hold you with no bond for now because of the type of charge you're accused of, but I'm going to ask the jail to get you back in front of the local judge on Monday because that local judge may set you a bond at that time, or if the local state attorney's office tells him that him or her they are going to be filing a motion for pretrial detention, they'll schedule that pretrial detention hearing. But because of the type of charge you have no bond at least until Monday. Ms. Merkel, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, man. Wish you the best. Madam Jailer, anything else in Holmes?
No, sir, but I have a question on Mr. Thompson, on the DWLSR, you said how much?
5,000.
And on the false info?
Same thing, 5,000.
Okay, just wanted to make sure, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am.
That's
We'll see you
it.
tomorrow. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Well, let's see, Calhoun County is still empty there, so we'll go to Gulf County because they have fewer than Jackson. In Gulf County, Mr. Jailer or Madam Jailer in Gulf County, can you see and hear us okay?
Yes, sir, we can.
Great. I did not get any criminal histories in Gulf County. Usually they come separately from the sheriff's department there. Do you have criminal
Yes, sir.
histories in Gulf County?
No, sir, we don't have access to that. Do you want me to get the sheriff's department to send it to you real quick?
No, it's a little late now. I do want you to call them and tell them I didn't get it. I think last weekend when I didn't have first appearance, I got them. But this weekend I did not get them. So I think what may have happened is we may have switched. I think when judges switch first appearances for different reasons, we notify the jail, but I don't think the sheriff's department there is getting notified of the switch. So that's my guess, is they probably emailed it to whoever had it before the switch was made. So I think we can do it without it today, but I do want them to know that I got it tomorrow. So if you let them know that Judge Mercer has it tomorrow, that's who the criminal history needs to be sent to. So I'm gonna have to come back to Mr. Lucas because I've not had a chance to read his because it's such a new case. So let me go with, start with John Connor. Mr. Connor, good morning. Mr. Connor, you're here because you've been accused of driving while license suspended or revoked. Mr. Connor, the best I can tell you, just got put on probation about 2 days ago. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Connor, I'm gonna set your bond at $5,000 cash or surety. Don't try to post it because it appears you violated your probation or you may have violated your probation already. I'm gonna ask the jail to hold you with no bond on the possible bond violation of probation until you can see Judge McFarland, and that will probably happen Monday. So 2 days from now, you see Judge McFarland, let him deal with whether he wants to hold you with no bond or not. But right now, you've got no bond on that. Any questions, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, have a good day, sir. Javion Winfield. Mr. Winfield, good morning. You're here because you've been accused of 1 count of driving while license suspended and 1 count of DUI. Mr. Winfield, there is probable cause for the charges, but your criminal history looks pretty good. Mr. Winfield, when's the last time, if ever, that you've been in trouble or charged with a crime?
2018,
Mr. Winfield, where do you live at?
Apalachicola.
Are you have any charges pending anywhere at this time?
No, sir.
Are you on any kind of probation?
No, sir.
Are you employed?
Yes, sir.
Where do you work at?
The Owl Cafe.
Mr. Winfield, I'm gonna let you pick between the bond and the conditional release. Ms. Jeffcoat and Ms. Bremer, this was a below 0.08 breathalyzer. The officer made the arrest based upon the field sobriety exercises, but when he got the breathalyzer, it was less than 0.08. So that's a factor for me to consider. Mr. Winfield, some people prefer a bond instead of a conditional release. Some people prefer a conditional release. It's entirely up to you. If you want to post a bond, your bond's gonna be $2,500 on each of these charges. That means your bond will be $5,000 cash or surety, but because of your history, if you want to accept the conditional release, I am going to offer you a conditional release. Do you understand the difference between the bond and the conditional release, Mr. Winfield?
Yes.
And which one do you want to choose?
Conditional release, you have to check in every week. Without conditional release, you just make the bond. You
But
bond.
conditional release, I don't have to pay for it.
Yes, there is a charge. It's like $50 a week or something like
I'm saying I have to pay like $80.
that.
It's almost like ROR that you do.
Yeah, but you-
Let me explain the difference. Let me explain the difference to you. So listen to me. A bond, you have to pay money to get out of jail, either $500 to a bondsman if they charge you 10%, or you put up the whole $5,000. And a bond has very few rules to live by. In your case, the bond would have a condition not to possess or consume alcohol, no driving a motor vehicle unless you have a valid license, don't miss any court dates, don't be charged with any crimes. But it costs you money to get out of jail. A conditional release doesn't cost you any money to get out of jail. A conditional release does have a monthly fee, and in most counties, it's like $40 or $50 per month. And it means it has more rules to follow. So the trade-off is it's cheaper typically, but it has more rules to follow. You've got to call in once a week by phone. They can drug test you. Then it's got the same other rules. The ones I mentioned earlier about a bond, no alcohol, not missing court and all that stuff. So a conditional release has more rules to follow, but it doesn't cost you any money to get out of jail. And it's only offered to people who have crimes that are not violent or very little criminal history. So because of your history, you get to pick whether you want to post a bond and have fewer rules to follow or accept the conditional release, but have more rules to follow. Questions?
I go with the bond.
Okay, so your bond is $5,000 cash or surety, and then no alcohol is a condition of the bond, Madam Jailer. No driving unless you have a valid driver's license. Don't miss any court dates and don't be charged with any crimes, okay?
Yes, sir.
Have a good day, sir.
Thank you.
Samuel Melvin.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Melvin, good morning. You're here for charge of driving under the influence. Mr. Melvin, there is probable cause for your charge and your criminal history also. Well, I didn't have your criminal history. I looked you up in the clerk system and I didn't see a whole lot there. Have you ever been charged with a crime before?
I've been in trouble, but not no DUI. I mean, this is my first offense DUI.
How long has it been since you've been? How long has it been since you've been charged with a crime?
Probably 8 years, maybe 7, 8 years, something like that.
Okay. Are you on any probation at this time?
No, sir.
Do you have any charges pending?
No, sir.
You're going to have the same options then as Mr. Winfield. That's a bond. In your case, the bond, you only have one charge. He had two. Your bond will be $2,500 cash or surety. I am going to offer you a conditional release with the same conditions he was offered if you choose to accept that. Do you have a question about those choices?
With the bondsman, I can pay like 10% and they'll take me on my own behalf.
It depends on the bondsman. I can't answer that because it depends entirely on the bondsman. Some bondsmen will want 10% plus they want somebody else to sign for you. Some bondsmen may take 5% and let you make payments. It's just no way to predict that.
Yeah, I don't know if I can get somebody to come get me as the thing or sign for me. And I'm on my own. You know, all my family's dead. I work.
I can't tell you what a bondsman would do. I don't necessarily have a problem with changing it to a cash bond if the state's not opposed to it. Ms. Bremer, what's the state's thoughts on that?
No objection, Your Honor.
So I don't have a problem taking the amount you would pay a bondsman normally, which in your case would be $250, and making a cash bond of $250 if you prefer. Would you prefer that?
I would prefer that more because, you know, there's no way I can call somebody to come get me.
You've got a cash bond then of $250, no alcohol, no driving a motor vehicle unless you have a valid driver's license. Okay?
Yes, the officer said he did not suspend my driver's license. They don't get suspended until I go to court, correct? Or when they decide what they're going to do.
Not necessarily true. If they send in that breathalyzer to DHS&V, your license is going to get suspended. So it depends on how the officer handles it.
He didn't say they were suspended. He said the ticket was just like my driver's license for right now.
You allegedly blew over 0.08. So if they notify the state of Florida that, the state of Florida is going to suspend your license.
Okay, I will.
So you need to check with somebody before you drive. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Have a good day, sir.
You too.
Ms. Bremer, to be consistent, is there any objection to giving Mr. Winfield the same cash bond option?
No, Your Honor.
Madam Jailer, let Mr. Winfield know he also has the option. If he preferred just to pay $250 cash bond per case, he would have that same choice as Mr. Melvin. So his would be $500 cash because he has two charges. If he doesn't want to go through a bondsman, he can pay $500 cash. He would have the same conditions I've already mentioned earlier. Then we have John Gilbert. Mr. Gilbert, good morning. Mr. Gilbert, you've been accused of one count. Madam Jailer, it's really, really hard to read because there's so many charges that whoever filled out the first appearance sheet is trying to squeeze them all in that one box. And it's very difficult to read. What I think you're accused of, Mr. Gilbert, after looking at the complaint, is one count of trafficking in methamphetamine. Madam Jailer, is there a separate charge for trafficking in fentanyl?
Yes, sir. Do you not have there should be a cover sheet before his complaint.
Yeah, the cover sheets, everything's packed into one box. It's squeezed in there, handwritten. Let me go back to the email again.
Do you not have one that looks like this?
Well, the one I've got is the cover sheet for everybody. So let me go back to where you're talking about.
Sit down right there.
I've got the whole docket. It's one where it's squeezed in there and you can't really read it. So let me go to his particular case. Okay, Mr. Gilbert, you're accused of 1 count of trafficking in methamphetamine, 1 count of trafficking in fentanyl, possession of paraphernalia, tampering with evidence, driving while license suspended or revoked knowingly, and fleeing or eluding. I read the complaint. There's probable cause on all of those. I did not realize there was a separate fentanyl charge. So let me go back and read the complaint again on that issue. I do remember probable cause for the meth. Let's see. Oh, all right. So Ms. Bremer. Ms. Bremer, I searched, this is what the complaint says. I searched the immediate area where I observed the items being thrown from the vehicle and located 27.9 grams of a white substance that field tested positive for methamphetamine and fentanyl. Ms. Bremer, I don't think I can find probable cause for both of those because of trafficking. You have to allege over a certain amount of each type of drug. Ms. Bremer, do you agree?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Simpson, do you agree?
Yes, Your Honor.
So what I'm going to do, Mr. Gilbert, is I'm going to find probable cause for 1 count of trafficking in a controlled substance, just 1 count, not 2. Because under the law, you have to have over a certain amount of each type, and that's not been alleged in your case. The bond on that charge, that's a first-degree felony that carries a minimum mandatory imprisonment. It's a very serious charge. The bond on that charge is going to be $50,000. The bond on the paraphernalia would be $2,500. The tampering with evidence is a third-degree felony. That'll be $5,000. Driving while license suspended will be $2,500. Fleeing and eluding will be $5,000. Madam Jailer, when you add those together, I get a total bond of Mr. Gilbert's case of $65,000 cash or surety. Cash or surety, Mr. Gilbert, means you can go through a bondsman. You don't have to come up with all the money, but your bond $65,000. And I found no probable cause on 1 charge. Mr. Gilbert, do you have any questions, sir?
Yes, sir. I'm just, as far as like the fleeing and looting and things like that, I don't understand how I even got the trafficking or any of that. None of this stuff.
Okay.
I mean,
Mr. Gilbert, don't talk about what you've been accused of. We're being recorded. I don't want you to say anything to hurt
Yes,
you.
sir.
You need to talk to an attorney in private. But essentially
Yes,
what's
sir.
alleged is that, let's see, if you were allegedly the driver, I believe. Let me make sure. Yeah, allegedly you were the driver and you were driving and that stuff was thrown out of the passenger's window. And then there was some items in the stuff thrown out the window that linked back to you. And let me see, specifically, the syringes were located in the bag that contained items with Gilbert's name on them. So when they recovered the stuff on the side of the road, your name was on some items in there. And then you made a statement allegedly that says you kept driving because Sweeney told him to. Gilbert stated he observed Sweeney throwing the items out of the vehicle. So that's why you're in jail. All right, sir.
Okay.
You'll get to use the phone.
Yes, sir.
You'll get to use the phone and try to post a bond. Okay.
Your Honor.
Right.
I
Yes, ma'am.
apologize for interrupting, but is there a condition of no possession or consumption without a prescription and not driving without a license?
Yeah, I don't know if they have that. I don't know if they do that. I don't know if they give you random urinalysis or not in Gulf County when you come to court. But if you do post a bond, Mr. Gilbert, you can't use any substance you don't have a prescription for. And you can only drive if you have a valid driver's license, Mr. Gilbert. But I do wish you the best. Let me see Christopher Sweeney next. Mr. Sweeney, good morning. You have the same situation as Mr. Gilbert, but you have fewer charges as his co-defendant. You're accused of trafficking in meth and trafficking in fentanyl, possession of paraphernalia, and tampering with evidence. I'm going to find probable cause only for 1 count of trafficking in a controlled substance. On the same rationale that I announced in Mr. Gilbert, you can't do both without separate weights for each. Also, there's probable cause for the other two charges. Miss Simpson,
Sir,
whoever's phone that is, if you'll turn that phone off, I'd appreciate it. Miss Simpson or Miss Bremer, anything else, Miss Simpson, anything else on behalf of Mr. Swinney I need to be aware of?
Judge, I got the possession of controlled substance and the tampering with evidence. What was this third charge?
He's got a trafficking, not a possession, a trafficking, a controlled substance, possession of paraphernalia, and tampering.
Thank you. Nothing
Miss
else.
Bremer, anything else? Thank you. Miss Bremer, anything?
Yes, Your Honor, the state would ask for the same conditions.
Mr. Swinney, thank you. Mr. Swinney, your bond's gonna be $50,000 on the trafficking, $2,500 on the paraphernalia, and $5,000 on the tampering. Your total bond is $57,500 with a condition not to possess or consume any substance you don't have a valid prescription for. So if you do post bond, they could drug test you. Mr. Swinney, you'll get to use the phone in just a few minutes, sir, and try to post the bond. Mr. Swinney, do you have any questions?
No.
Mr. Swinney, wish you the best, sir. That brings us back. I believe the last case there is Mr. Lucas. So, Madam Jailer, in Mr. Lucas's case, all I received was the warrant.
That's all we received, Judge. We did not receive complaints. The investigators brought him in yesterday and all they had was a warrant. They never brought complaints.
Okay. So when there's a warrant, Mr. Lucas, that means that a judge has read a complaint and found probable cause. I can't redo that. That judge has done it. But I want to try to see the warrant, the complaint, because the complaint is relevant in your bond. The evidence against you is one of the many factors I have to consider in deciding what bond to set you or if you're entitled to a bond. So let me start, Mr. Lucas, with this. Do you have any charges pending anywhere?
No, sir.
Mr. Lucas, are you on any probation anywhere?
No, sir.
Have you ever been charged with a crime?
I think the last time I got in trouble was in 2018.
Okay. Was that a felony or misdemeanor?
Misdemeanor.
Okay. This time you're charged with a sex offense. Have you ever been charged with a sex offense before?
No, sir.
Okay. Let me read the complaint now because I do have it open in the e-warrant system. I found it in the e-warrant system where not sure what judge's signature that is. It looks like it was submitted to Judge McFarland.
Yeah, looks
So let me
like
look at it was Judge McFarland. Let me read the complaint, then we can deal with your bond. Mr. Lucas, how old are you?
I'm 38.
Okay. Okay, so there is probable cause for the charge. After reading the complaint, there's probable cause for both charges. Let me look at the statute and see exactly what degree crime this is. 794.051. Can't be right. 794.051. think that's a third degree felony. It is. It's a third degree felony. Okay. Well. It's a second degree felony. All right, so Mr. Lucas, I'm gonna go ahead and set your bond in this case, but you need to listen carefully because the complaint alleges additional crimes that they've not charged you with. The complaint alleges that you've impregnated a minor, not just had a sexual relationship, that you actually got her pregnant, and alleges multiple counts. They've only charged you at this point with 2 crimes, but it's certainly possible, maybe even likely, that you'll be charged with additional charges. So I'm gonna set you a bond based on what you're charged with so far. But if the state charges you with additional crimes, which they certainly may, if this child turns out to be yours, then that's going to almost certainly mean a new charge and a different bond to post. Ms. Bremer, anything from the state before I set the bonds on what I've got so far?
Your Honor, the state requests a reasonable bond and no contact with the victim.
All right. And Ms. Simpson, anything? Go ahead, Ms. Bremer.
I apologize. Or any unsupervised contact with a minor.
All right. And Ms. Simpson, anything from the state, from the PD's office?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Lucas, unlawful sexual contact with a 16 or 17-year-old for someone 24 years of age or older is a second degree felony. Based upon the allegations, your bond's going to be $50,000 in that case. Using computers to seduce or solicit a child, your bond's going to be $10,000 in that case. Your total bond is $60,000 cash or surety. Mr. Lucas, keep in mind, if you post bond and they do charge you with something else, there could be another warrant issued next week and you could be right back in there and have to go through the process again. I don't want you or your family wasting money, but whether you post bond or not is up to you. You will get to use the phone in a few minutes to try to post a bond. Your bond does have a condition to have no unsupervised contact with any minors, which I'm going to talk to you about in just a second. And certainly no contact with the alleged victim. Mr. Lucas, do you have minor children of your own?
Yes, sir, I do. I got a 13-year-old son and an 11-year-old son.
Okay, I'm going to exclude them from the no contact with minors. Okay, so you can have contact with your own children, but no other unsupervised contact with any other minors other than your own sons. Mr. Lucas, any questions?
I was gonna ask about the bond. You said it's how much now?
What did I say? 50 and 10? Is that what I said, Madam Jailer?
60.
Yes, sir.
60.
That's
So
what, total 60. Yes, sir.
let's say a bondsman charged you 10%, that'd be $6,000. If they charge you 5%, that'd be $3,000. That's something you negotiate with them. Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Have a good day, sir.
All right, thanks, sir.
Yes, sir. Madam Jailer, anything else in Gulf?
No, sir. And I'll get with the sheriff's department and make sure we get that squared away for tomorrow.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Have a good day, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, ladies, I still don't see Calhoun County on the video, so I'm going to assume they're still having technical issues. Yeah, I see their hallway. There's just nobody there. So let me try to call them, see how we can do this first appearance.
Hello.
Hey, this is Judge Mercer calling back for the Calhoun County Jail.
Hey, Wade, this is Jim Williams. How you doing?
Hey, Jim, how are you? Did you try to call me?
Yeah, we tried to call on my wife's phone.
Okay. Hey, I'm in the middle of court. I'll call you back in just a little while. Okay.
That's okay. You won't need to. I'll talk to you later. Thank you.
Okay. Bye. I'm sorry. I looked at the last number called and I thought that was apparently Mr. Williams has called me. You know what? I forgot to put this recording on.
Jail Officer Coleman.
Hey, Officer Coleman, this is Judge Mercer. How you doing, ma'am?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Hey, so we're connected by video. We see nothing. So your TV won't come on or anything. Is that right?
Sir, I had it on earlier and I gave up on it because it was just black and it said no signal. The blue light was on for the telecom, but it just wasn't, nothing was showing, no video on my end, nothing.
Okay.
So,
Let me see if the attorneys can hear you if we do this by speakerphone. Ms. Simpson, Ms. Bremer, can you hear Officer Coleman if we do it by phone?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
So Officer Coleman, they can hear you and I can hear you. Are you where you can take this phone to wherever the inmates are at?
I will pull them, I got them right here in a cell next to the office, I'll pull them in one at a time, give me 1 second.
Okay.
All right, you're first, ready, be ready. Okay, we have Brandon Roberts.
All right, Mr. Roberts, this is Judge Mercer. We're having to do this by phone because of technical issues with the video. On our end, we have your attorney for today's purposes, Ms. Elizabeth Simpson. We also have the prosecutor for today, Ms. Bremer. Mr. Roberts, you've been accused of 2 counts of burglary of an unoccupied dwelling, but you've been accused of traveling across county lines to complete the burglary. That increases the degree of the crime. You've also been charged with 1 grand theft over $20,000, and a criminal mischief. Mr. Roberts, I've read the complaint. There is probable cause for the charges, and I believe the judge has already issued the warrants in this case. Matter of fact, I know he has. So all I'm doing today is deciding if you're entitled to a bond. Mr. Roberts, it looks to me like you're entitled to a bond. You're not on any probation, are you?
No, sir, and that's why I was asking for a bond, because actually I have 2 witnesses and Highway 20 or 231 of video footage showing you that I was not the one driving the vehicle, that this is an insurance fraud that they're trying to get me with.
Okay. All right. Well, considering that some of the property was allegedly recovered from you, then
That's what.
no, then that's enough for probable cause, certainly. So I'm going to set your bond at $25,000 on the 2 burglaries, $5,000 each on the other 3 charges. Your total bond is $65,000 cash or surety. Mr. Roberts, you've got a condition, no contact with the alleged victims at all. And I would suggest you don't talk to anybody but an attorney about your charges, but you will get to use the phone in a few minutes to try to post the bond. Do you have any questions, Mr. Roberts?
No, sir, that's good. I appreciate it, sir.
Yes, sir. Have a good day. Scotty Reddick is next, Madam Jailer.
Yes, sir, he's here.
Mr. Reddick, good morning. This is Judge Mercer. Could he hear me before when I introduced everybody?
Yes.
Okay. So Mr. Reddick, same people here, your attorney, the prosecutor for today. Mr. Reddick, you're accused of 1 count of driving while licensed, suspended or revoked, habitual. That's a felony charge, Mr. Reddick. It looks like you've got a pretty long criminal history. You've been to the Department of Corrections twice, as far as I can tell. But I think you're entitled to a bond. Mr. Reddick, you're not on any probation, are you? All right. So, Mr. Reddick, I'm going to set you the standard bond I normally would set for this charge if I didn't give someone a conditional release for it, and that would be $5,000. This cash or surety, Mr. Reddick. You do not have to come up with all the money, sir. You can go through a bondsman. That's what a surety bond is. Your bond has a condition that you not drive a motor vehicle. You just got a lot of issues with that driver's license right now, so you cannot drive a motor vehicle, Mr. Reddick. If you get caught driving, that will violate your bond. Mr. Reddick, do you have any questions? All right, sir. I wish you the best. Next, we've got James Levins.
Yes, sir, I'm gonna get him 1 second.
Thank you.
Levin and Dillard, you're next. All right, Mr. Levins is here.
Great. Mr. Levins and Mr. Dillard, this is Wade Mercer, the county judge in Jackson County, doing first appearances today. On the phone also, we have Ms. Elizabeth Simpson. She's your attorney for today's purposes. And we have the prosecutor, Ms. Bremer. Mr. Levins, you have some charges out of Jackson County, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and first appear you and set you a bond since there are charges here. That's where normally I'm at, is Jackson County. Mr. Levins, you're accused of 1 count of robbery. There is probable cause for these charges. The robbery bond is going to be $50,000 because you just got out of the Department of Corrections. You're accused of felony battery. The felony battery charge will be $10,000. False imprisonment, that bond will be $10,000. You're accused of violation of an injunction for protection. That bond will be $5,000. Mr. Levins, your total bond out of Jackson County is $75,000 cash or surety. Mr. Levins, you have the right to post the bond. It has a condition of no contact with the alleged victim, though. So you can have no contact with the alleged victim at all. You'll get to use the phone, sir, and try to go through post a bond. If you want to go through a bondsman, that's up to you. If you're not able to post the bond, Mr. Levins, you'll be transported to Jackson County, and we will see you in the near future if you're not able to post the bond. If you post the bond, then you'll see Judge Garcia at a court date eventually. But if you do post the bond, Make sure you have no contact with the alleged victim that's accused you of this. Mr. Levins, do you have any questions?
Yes, I do. Well, I need to talk to an investigator because I was cut, but ain't nobody come talk to me. They just put charges on me.
Okay.
I ain't robbed nobody, and where robbery charge come from?
Well,
Like I did and violate my job.
Don't say anything that you're being recorded. Don't say anything that's going to hurt you. But I will try to answer your question. The robbery is allegedly taking the phone while all this other stuff was going on. That's the supposed robbery.
I didn't do that, but like the junction, I ain't gonna lie about that. I violated that. She made contact me when I got out of prison. I'm not gonna lie about that.
Well,
that's why I brought myself up here when they was talking about all this other bull and junk that I didn't like do. All this junk is behind. Me and her little boyfriend got into it. And I'm the one going to jail. But I got cut. Ain't nobody come talk to me.
Well, what you should do on that, since it's supposedly happened in Jackson. Will you stop talking and listen to me, Mr. Levins? Madam Jailer, his first appearance is over. I'm not going to listen to him any further. He needs to get put out of the room. I'm not going to listen to him. He won't even let me talk. His first appearance is over. Have a good day, sir. We have Paul Dillard next.
Mr. Murphy, are you still there?
I'm here. Paul Dillard. Mr. Dillard, are you there?
Hello?
Can you hear me? Madam Jailer? Well. Huh. It's not going through at all now. I wonder if they're having bad weather down there.
Sheriff's office.
Hey, this is Judge Mercer. We were trying to do first appearances by phone and we got disconnected. Can I speak to somebody at the jail, please?
Okay, yeah, hold on a second. I'll transfer you.
Thank you.
Jail officer Coleman.
Hey, Officer Coleman, I don't know what happened. We lost you there midstream.
It just went blank. I'm not sure what happened.
Okay. So, Mr. Levins, did you get his bonds that I said?
I did.
Okay. Then we have Paul Dillard. Is he there?
Mr. Mercer, Mr. Levins said he needs to talk to you.
No, I'm through talking. No, I'm through talking to Mr. Levins. He won't even let me talk. I've set him bonds. His first appearance is over. He needs to once he gets to Jackson County, he can contact law enforcement here about filing charges if he wishes. But I'm not doing that anymore.
Thank you, sir.
Paul Dillard.
Dillard.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Dillard, good morning. Mr. Dillard, you're here on it appears to be a civil contempt of court issue. Is that what you've got, Madam Jailer?
Yes, sir. It's about alimony.
So, Mr. Dillard, the circuit judge has issued basically it's alimony, like the jailer said, but it's a civil matter. When you have a civil contempt of court, you have to have what's called a purge. Your purge amount is $5,742.93. That is the amount that the circuit court has determined that you owe in back alimony. I'm assuming here. If you post that amount, you'll be released. If you don't post the amount, then you'll be seeing either the circuit judge or a child support, or actually you have to see the circuit judge because it's not a child support matter. And what the order says is if you're arrested, for the jail to notify the circuit judge's office, and they will immediately set a hearing on it. So what that means is if you post the purge, you're going to be released. If you're not able to post that purge amount, then Monday morning, the jail will be notifying the judge's office that you're in custody, and the judge's order says they will immediately schedule a hearing on it to decide what to do with it. But you have the right to post the purge in the meantime. Mr. Dillard, do you have any questions?
So there's no way for me to be released now. I mean, this all came about because I missed a hearing that I was never notified of.
The court order that I've got says the only way you can be released is to post the purge amount of $5,742.93. Is that what you have, Madam Jailer?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, Mr. Dillard, that's what the order says, and it's that judge's case. That judge is going to be the one that you have to see, unless you post the purge. But that's the only way you're going to get out before seeing him. Okay.
All right, I know it's not your fault, but that sucks because I've got a wife at home that's terminally ill and needs me at home, and I've got heart issues.
Yeah, Mr. Dillard, I don't know anything about your case, but you're allegedly way behind in your alimony, so you're going to have to see the judge. Okay. Have a good day, sir.
All right.
Madam Jailer,
Yes, sir.
I think that's it for Calhoun. Did I miss anybody?
No, sir, that's it.
Do y'all have anybody on call on weekends for technical issues like you're having today?
No, sir. I'm gonna go down there and see if I can reset everything and see if that'll possibly fix the problem.
Well,
Because we had an issue about it the other week, last week, and something happened to it, and IT had to come in here and fix it. So I'm guessing it's having issues from that.
If that doesn't do it, please notify the sheriff or your supervisor of the issue and tell them that it's really it's just difficult to do these by phone. But
Yes.
if we have to tomorrow, we'll have to. But hopefully they'll have it working. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna try to get it working today, and then if not, I'll give them a call.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ms. Simpson, as far as I know, that's everything we had on the first appearance docket this morning. Anything else from the public defender's office?
Did we do Jackson County, Judge?
We did Jackson. Didn't we?
No, sir. I
No, I
don't
think they're still there.
Really?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. Mr. Jailer, I put y'all till last because y'all had so many and then I just forgot. So we still got Jackson County to go. So Mr. Jailer, I apologize. We just had a rough morning here. I got here at 7 o'clock and I finished reading them at 5 till 8. That's how many we've had. So Mr. Jailer in Jackson County, have you had a chance to play the first appearance video there?
Yes, sir, we have.
All right. And can you see and hear all three of us?
Yes, sir.
Great. Four of these cases are identical. So let me see. Kern Thomas, Joel English, Anisha Sharp, and Jacardian Peterson, please.
Before.
Thomas, English, Sharp, Peterson. All right. Which one of you is Kern Thomas? Raise your hand, please. All right. And which one of you is Joel English? All right. Mr. English, I've got you. Anisha Sharp. Ms. Sharp, raise your hand. And that means Jacardian Peterson's the last one. Okay. So I'm seeing you at the same time because your cases are identical basically for first appearance purposes. Each of you are accused of violation of the terms of your probation or your community control. What we do in those cases is if there's an affidavit already filed, as there is in your cases, I'm going to go ahead and arraign you this morning. And the reason we do that is so I can get a lawyer appointed today rather than you having to wait for your violation of probation court date to get an attorney. So if you tell me you want an attorney appointed to represent you, that's exactly what we're going to do. Mr. Thomas, do you want an attorney appointed to represent you in this VOP?
I cannot afford an attorney, but yeah.
No, I'm going to appoint one if you want one because you're in custody. Do you want one appointed?
Yes, sir, please.
All right, Mr. English, same question.
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Sharp, same question.
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Peterson, same question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm appointing the Public Defender's Office of the 14th Circuit to represent each of you Ms. Simpson's going to enter a plea for you, and then I'm going to give you some more information about your court date and where we go from here. Ms. Simpson?
Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Thomas, Mr. English, Ms. Sharp, and Ms. Peterson, we'd enter a plea of not guilty, and the public defender's office will file for discovery, and Guy Green will be your public defender representing you on the VOPs.
Thank you. So thank you, Ms. Simpson. Once I arraign you, everyone, that lets me get you on the court docket. Now, because of me arraigning you today, that's going to get you on the next VOP court docket, which is the 20th. So you're going to have VOP docket in 10 days. We're going to get you on the February docket instead of having to sit there until March. So that's another reason we arraign you quicker. Okay. So you're going to be on the court docket in 10 days. Mr. Guy Green will be your attorney in the VOP case unless you have a new felony charge. If you have a new felony charge, typically the attorney that takes the felony case will also get the VOP. So if your probation violation is based upon technical violations that you're accused of or a misdemeanor case, Mr. Green will be your attorney. If your probation violation is based upon a new felony charge in Jackson County, you likely will have a different attorney. But Mr. Green will typically come and see everyone before the court date. Your court date's the 20th. Mr. Green should see you at the jail before the 20th. Keep in mind, if you've got a new misdemeanor charge, you may have two different attorneys. Otherwise, if you've got a felony case, it'll be Mr. Owens or Mr. Roberts or one of those, Ms. Simpson, one of those felony public defenders. Mr. Thomas, let me start with you first. Your name is first on my list. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right. Wish you the best. Mr. English, any questions, sir?
No, sir.
I wish you the best. Ms. Sharp, any questions?
No, sir.
Wish you the best. And Mr. Peterson, any questions?
No, sir.
All right. Y'all have a good day. Mr. Green will see you before your court date, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. That brings us to Ralph Hare. Actually, I can see Mr. Hare and Mr. Powell at the same time because their cases are identical. Ralph Hare and Gary Powell. Mr. Hare, Mr. Powell, good morning, gentlemen. Each of you are accused of violating terms of your conditional release from the Florida Department of Corrections, and both of you have no bond holds from them. What that means is going to be held with no bond. So you may have a bond on your other case, but you've got no bond because of this. You may not have another case for all I know. They have very strict timelines they have to comply with. So someone from I believe it's not called the Parole Commission anymore. It's called the Florida Commission on Offender Review or something similar to that. They will come and see you at the jail. They'll talk to you about your rights, how much gain time you have, what's the maximum they can sentence you to, depending upon how much gain time you got in your sentence. And then they'll talk to you about whether or not you want to have a hearing. And I think that has to take place within 10 days of you being served this. Mr. Jailer, is it 10 or is it 21 days? Do you know?
I believe it's 10, Your Honor.
So they should see you within 10 days. That may be 10 working days. I'm really not sure. But they'll see you and talk to you about those rights. And this is totally separate from whatever your local charges are, if you have any. Mr. Hare, do you have any questions?
I was wanting to know, Judge, at this juncture, I'd like to move for immediate discharge because I have no affidavit showing me what I've been in prison jail for. I have no, there was no notice. I was never served notice for anything. So I'm just trying to figure out what am I violated for and who's saying that I violated? That's what I need to know.
Mr. Hare, that's a fair question. So let me look at the paperwork that the jail sent me. And let me tell you what they're accusing you of. All right. So what it says is that you have allegedly violated condition number 10. It says that on February 2nd, you were instructed to submit a random urinalysis, and that you failed to do so. And then there's another violation that you're accused of, violating condition 14. And what it says is that you had a condition that you submit yourself to an evaluation to determine if substance abuse therapy is needed and to participate in a recommended treatment, and that you have failed to do so as of February 2nd. So this warrant was, I'm just telling you, let me finish answering your question. So on February 6th, they've accused you of these things and there was a warrant issued. So that's what you're accused of. Any other questions?
Yeah, and who's doing the accusations? Who's saying that I've done
it's hard to read the signature, but I believe it says David. I believe it says Wyatt, W-Y-A-N-T. Let me see if it's typed anywhere in here. I cannot tell you for sure the last name, but it says a commissioner with the Florida Commission on Offender Review is accusing you of this, which basically is a parole officer.
Is that sworn to, Your Honor? Is it just an accusation?
The warrant itself doesn't have to be sworn to, and it's not sworn to.
No, sir, I'm saying the actual report, the affidavit.
We don't have the affidavit. We're provided the warrant is all we're provided. It's all we have to be provided under Florida law. But you're entitled to certain discovery process in that case, just like you would a criminal case. But right now, that's what you're accused of, Mr. Hare. And they'll see you within 10 days, okay?
I understand, sir, but no one swore to anything saying I vowed. It's just somebody making an accusation and I'm arrested just because somebody said you done it. That's all.
Your parole officer, your conditional release officer saying you didn't do what you were supposed to do. So yes, you're in jail because of that. That's all it takes. All right. Wow. Have a good day, sir. Mr. Powell, do you have any questions?
I want that same question, so Your Honor.
Okay, sure. Mr. Powell, let's see what yours is. I believe yours is based on the new allegation against you. All right, so here's what yours says. It's the same commissioner that signed it. It says that you have allegedly violated the condition 4C by use or constructively possess methamphetamine. It says you're accused of violating condition 7 for possession of methamphetamine. And then another condition 7, it says that you've possessed or intended, possessed or used drug paraphernalia. So all of your allegations are regarding drug use. That's what you're accused of. Any other questions?
Yes, because when I was stopped, I came to first appearance earlier this week.
Yes, sir.
I saw you. The officer was telling me that I was out after curfew, which I which my. Go ahead.
You refused to take a drug test at first appearance, right?
Yes, sir, I did.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere. You're on parole. You can't refuse to take a drug test. You don't have that choice. So you're not going anywhere. Do you have any other questions?
No, sir, that's it.
Have a good day. Then we have Jamal League.
I just want to go out for 7 a week.
Mr. League, good morning. Mr. League, you're here because you've been accused of 1 count of disorderly intoxication and 1 count of petty theft. Mr. League, I did read the complaint. There is probable cause for both charges, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set you a bond this morning because I think you're entitled to one. You're not on any probation anywhere, correct, sir?
No, sir.
Okay. I know you've got some recent charges, but you don't have anything pending that I can see. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Mr. League, your bond's going to be $2,500 on each of these misdemeanors, which is $5,000 total, cash or surety. Surety means you don't have to come up with all the money. You can go through a bondsman. But Mr. League, if you post the bond, you'll be released and you'll come back to court on a later date. If you don't post the bond, we're going to see you tomorrow because I want you to get a chance to talk to an attorney in private and get made a plea offer. So if you post bond, you'll be released. If you don't post bond, you're going to be back at first appearance tomorrow. We can talk to an attorney in private. No, I say tomorrow, actually Monday. We don't do that on weekends, but on Monday, you'll talk to an attorney in private and then
I won't be able to.
Go ahead, sir.
I won't be able to.
I'm going to see you Monday and you'll be made some type of offer to see if we can resolve it. I don't think he's going to post bond based on what he's saying, Mr. Jailer, but if he does post bond, we need to give him a notice because I don't have a good address for him. If he does post bond, please give him notice to be in court for arraignments on March the 4th at 9 a.m. So if you don't post bond, I'm going to see you Monday. If you do post bond, we're going to see you March 4th. Any questions?
No.
All right. Have a good day, sir. We'll see you Monday if you're still there. Randy Southwell.
Your Honor, I apologize, but on the off chance that he is able to make bond, is there a condition of no possession or consumption of alcohol and no contact with the victim?
Yes, those are reasonable requests. So, Mr. League, if you do post bond, no contact the alleged victim or that store and no alcohol. And Mr. Southwell is the last one I have, I believe.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Give him just a second, Your Honor.
Thank
He
you.
moves kind of slow.
Mr. Southwell, good morning, sir. You're here once again. the jail sheet's actually wrong. It says violation of conditional release. That's not what you're accused of. You're accused of violating an injunction for protection. That's what the officer actually accused you of. There is probable cause for that. And Mr. Southwell, I believe you're already out on bond for the same charge. Is that right, sir?
Yes.
Your bond's gonna be $10,000 in a new charge. I'm gonna revoke your bond in the case you're already on bond in, Mr. Southwell, and we will see you on. Ms. Brimmer, I know there are alleged victim involved in this case. Do you want him seen on the jail arraignment date, or do you want him brought back Monday to be made an offer?
We will attempt to make contact. So Monday, please.
Okay, Mr. Southwell, we'll see you on Monday. We'll see if we can be making an offer to try to resolve these cases, but you have no bond, at least in the case that was already pending. Mr. Southwell, any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir. We'll see you Monday.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Mr. Jailer, in Jackson County, I believe that's everything that I had on my list. Did I miss anybody there?
No, sir, but Mr. Hare would like one more word with me if you don't mind.
Judge,
Okay.
it just occurred
I'll
to
try.
me, sir, that, it just occurred to me, sir, that, I filed a petition for habeas corpus against, FCOR, Florida Commission on Offender Review. And, it should be documented at the courts in Jackson County, and they transferring the case from Jackson County to Leon County to try to turn it into a mandamus. And I think that there's a conflict of interest there. And I won't have a fair hearing, because my challenge is against some of the conditions of conditional release, and I want to put that on the record.
Okay. It's on the record then. I wish you the best, sir.
Okay.
I don't have anything to do with parole commission, sir. You'll see them. Thank you, Mr. Jailer. We'll see you tomorrow.
Who do I
The
see?
parole commission will see you. Your commissioner will see you.
But those
An
are
employee of the
people that
parole
I'm-
commission. Sir?
Yes, sir, but those are the people that I'm challenging. So they the other party in the case. So
Elected judges in Florida don't have anything to do with the parole commission. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm not involved in that process. You'll see somebody from that commission, and if there's a conflict, they have an internal process to deal with it. We don't have anything to do with it. I'm just first appearing, is all I'm doing. Have a good day.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr.
Have a
Jailer.
good day.
Ms. Simpson, anything else from the public defender's office?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Bremer.
No, Your Honor.
All right, that is probably the longest weekend first appearance we've had in a year. Just a lot of every county had a lot of cases except Washington. So we'll see y'all tomorrow, and hope y'all have a great day.
Thank you, Judge.
Goodbye, Judge.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes first appearances for the rural counties this morning, and first appearance court's adjourned.